semi-negotiating with Iran, signaling he'll lean on economic pressure to bend the regime his direction.
But Iran is now demanding major concessions from the United States to fully open the Strait of Hormuz.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst is live in Tel Aviv with the latest. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. With diplomatic efforts ongoing to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, Iranian officials are now making new demands. Iran's Supreme National Security Council issued a fresh statement this weekend calling on the United States to permanently end the war in the region, not just with Iran, but also with its proxies, and to compensate Iran for damages before the Strait would reopen. Iran's foreign minister says even if a deal is reached, it doesn't necessarily mean the Strait will stay open.
The talks with Oman are about the temporary route. We are almost very close to the result. Determining the route by Iran and Oman does not necessarily mean the reopening the Strait of Hormuz. That is dependent on other factors. The violations of the Memorandum of Understanding by America should be compensated.
With details still being worked out, the U.S. naval blockade remains in effect. U.S. Central Command says as of August 9th, CENTCOM has redirected 55 commercial vessels, disabled 2 and boarded 2 to ensure compliance. And President Trump told Axios on Sunday, we are low-keying it. We are only semi-negotiating with them. The president went on to say, we are just watching Iran with its huge inflation and the fact they have no money. And the Wall Street Journal reports for weeks, President Trump has been laying the groundwork to declare victory in the Iran war should Tehran fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz, even floating the idea privately to senior aides that he's willing to walk away without a nuclear deal, U.S. officials said again to the Wall Street Journal. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance spoke with Fox News over the weekend, indicating that U.S. pressure on Iran will continue until an agreement is reached that is best for the United States.
I try to remind people that we're really in the middle of the game here. This thing is not over. It's obviously not at the beginning. We're in the middle of the game, and we're applying a whole host of tools, diplomatic, economic, military tools, to ensure that we get the best outcome for the American people. I feel quite confident we will get there, but we're still a bit in the middle of the game.
Today, a senior Israeli official told Fox News there is new evidence, credible evidence inside of Iran showing this mounting economic pressure and regime officials in Tehran having to choose where their money is distributed. Guys?
So I guess with the belief the president believes that economic pressure would change the regime's mind. But Trey, how likely is that, knowing that they don't seem to care about their people? They're hanging about 2 a day just for standing up and speaking out, many of which are decorated athletes. What are the likelihood of economic pressure changing their behavior, judging by what we've seen?
It's a great question. Look, the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports is costing the regime hundreds of millions of dollars each day. That is a fact. But we have to look at the reality on the ground. And the Strait of Hormuz, this critical international waterway, is still effectively closed. The percentage of vessels actually passing through the waterway is around 10% of what it's supposed to be. And as the Iranians say they are looking to reach an agreement with Oman about who controls which side of the strait, they're still firing on vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Over the weekend, on Saturday, an Emirati-flagged tanker was hit with an Iranian missile. And vessels are still having trouble getting around this area. They're trapped in the Persian Gulf. And so the question remains, if the Iranians reach this agreement with Oman, are they willing to keep this waterway open and clear? Because the threats against commercial shipping are so serious that insurance companies are now unwilling to actually cover many of the vessels that would normally pass through this area. And it is affecting the global energy trade. Now, the president has a variety of levers to pull, both militarily and economically. And again, this is really a broad game of chess. And the Iranians have lost many of their pieces. Much of their navy rests at the bottom of the sea. Their missile arsenal has been degraded, but they still have pieces on the board. And as the vice president said, the United States is